Well, hello and welcome to the Karina Aster Alchemy community. I'm Karina Aster, so good to have you. And today we are going to be going into the Chinese astrology and the Sidereal astrology. Welcome to the Chinese New Year. We have been in the new year since the new moon, and it goes through tomorrow. Today I'm filming this on the 11th. Tomorrow is the full moon on the 12th of February. So we are in the Yin-Wood snake year, and I'm going to share a little bit about that Yin-Wood snake energy and of course the monthly energy, which we are now in the Yang Earth Tiger month of February that began on February 3rd. And then after that, I'm going to switch into the sidereal astrology, and I'm going to talk about all the aspects going on in the sky. So I'm very excited to have you. Please be sure to like the video and be sure to subscribe and then share this with a friend. So I would love to hear also your comments on what you are feeling, what you are noticing. Yeah, especially I'm curious out there if you are feeling any, if you've been going through any kind of pain, especially if you are a very sensitive person, or just having any kind of what they might call ascension symptoms. So a lot of times those are like headaches or stomach aches or different ways that the body might present physical pain, or it could be emotional pain, anxiety. There's definitely some transits I'll be sharing with you about that. So we'll get into that here. But yeah, so again, it's the new year of the Yinwood snake, and I created a whole video for my community on this, and you can get that recording if you wish. And I will remind you guys again at the end. And so I'm just going to briefly go over the Yinwood snake energy year. And so Yinwood is an energy that is very adaptable. It is very flexible and creative. It is we often refer to the Yinwood energy like a vine crawling upwards. And so it's really trying to create new things. And yeah, so it's going to be a beautiful energy for creating things and to come up with solutions. The snake is also a creature that obviously slithers and is very adaptable and very, yeah, easily changeable for, the needs of its environment. And so we have those really beautiful energies that are going to help us. And this is a very pivotal time for a lot of changes. A lot of things are going to be, systems are breaking down and need restructuring. And this is going to continue for a good, 5, 10, more like 15 years, probably longer. But anyway, we do have quite a bit of this coming up, but this is really going to be a lot more of it this year. So we really have a lot going on. And the good news is, yeah, the snake is going to persevere. So we can all engage in these energies that I talk about when I talk about the yin wood energy and the snake energy. We can all individually embrace these energies, whether or not we have snake in our chart. And the snake is also super intuitive and even psychic. And so we can, of course, also lean into those abilities. And that's going to be something we can tap into maybe a little more easily and just continue to work on trusting ourselves, right? And so, yeah, so there's definitely going to be a lot of that. Also, this month is the Young Earth Tiger month, and the tiger is also very intuitive. So there's going to be this extra oomph of intuition. So just definitely, if you are feeling like something's off, then, listen to that and, act on those impulses in a wise way. That tiger energy can be impulsive. We don't want to be reactive and impulsive in a negative way. Like we don't want to say the wrong things or act unwisely. But if at the same time, like if we were to feel like it's just not a good idea for me to go out driving right now, like I probably shouldn't go shopping. I don't know why, but I just have a bad feeling, just trusting that, whatever that may be for you. So yeah. And then so yeah, back to the snake energies. So of course, let's see, they are also known to be very wise. They are known for their intelligence. They really like to learn, and they also like to really plan. They like to be strategic. So again, there's going to be a lot of planning happening this year, a lot of strategizing, and we can again use that energy to create these new systems to, help our society and our culture evolve in a healthy and better way. And I know so many of you are doing that in your families and in this community, in your community, wherever you are. So I'd love to hear more about it. If I don't know, please share more in the comments below. I think it's really positive for us to be able to hear about the different things that we are building collectively and being inspired by that. So yeah, and then I let's see. So, there's definitely going to be some endings because this is also a 9 year numerologically. So, and nines are about endings. So again, just a lot of things shifting for us. And the snake represents that rebirth energy. So it's about, that transformation or that transmutation. And so sometimes when we see and know something like that is happening or coming, it's just a really big blessing. So just know that it may feel a little rocky and maybe a little scary at times, but yeah, but this is the new world and the new evolution and the new change that is needed for us to all be in a better place and for us to have healthier families and communities. And I know we all want that. So, um, yeah. So again, if you want more information on the Yinwood snake year, I have a whole video on that is available for a replay. It is $22. So, I'll mention it again at the end, but there is a link below so you can purchase that. And then, yeah, so just a little bit more about the young earth tiger energies. So, again, this started on February 3rd, and the tiger is a very ambitious animal. It's very confident. It likes to take leadership roles. And so, definitely, yeah, there's going to be a lot of, again, change and movement happening this month. And yeah, maybe you may feel like taking on a leadership role. Again, this will just depend on your astrology. But there's definitely going to be some good movement. And also, tigers are very passionate, and so there can be a lot of following our passion and our drive, and using that drive, that willpower. And also, they're very family oriented. They like to look out for their families, and so we can also be feeling that desire to look out for our family and greater community. And then, yeah, when it's the young earth energy, young earth is we kind of refer to it as like a giant mountain. And so it can be this energy that like can really withstand the test of time, and it's kind of unmovable, right? But at the same time, when young earth makes up its mind and is able to yeah, make when it changes or yeah makes up its mind, it can really go forward and really change. And so yeah, there's definitely an element of, I guess, stubbornness, and or maybe not so much stubbornness, but like slowness, like a very slow build up, but then once things like shift, they'll really shift. And so and also, like, there's going to be a little bit of tension because the yin would or there's the wood within tiger, and with that wood and earth energy, that's we call it like the destructive cycle. And so it's just kind of like a clash energy. It just means that it's yeah, not it's a little bit more forceful, it's a little bit more not that easy flow. And so we have that as well as being, in this wood year, the yin wood year, and then the earth energy. And so that tree like wants to come up through the earth, right? And so when it comes up through the earth, then it's going to shift the earth down below. And so that's going to change things, right? So there's going to be some maybe quakes, so to speak. And it could be more like life quakes, not really so much earthquakes, although who knows, there could be some of that as well. So yeah, so definitely again, the tiger is really confident and ambitious. So we can really engage with all that good energy and go forward with our passions, and yeah, create some really good things this month. And again, just be patient with yourself if it's taking a little bit more time. So let's see. Also, the fire, the the fire, the tiger energy came in on a what we call a full day or multiplier day in the Chinese astrology system. And so that energy on that February 3rd day of it being that multiplier day of that tiger coming in, it could just also be a little bit of that ferocious or am a little bit aggressive or overreactive energy that a tiger can be. So that's just something that we do need to kind of look out for. We may see it more in the greater collective. And I'm going to talk about that here in a few minutes. There's just definitely something I feel like kind of brewing, and I'm trying to stay positive and just continue to pray, and yeah, and just shoot for that higher timeline, which I think is what we all want to be doing. So as always, if something that I say, doesn't resonate, my goal here isn't to, of course, scare anybody, but also to make us aware of, some of the different energies. And there's always the higher octave and the lower octave, like I mentioned. So there's going to be some challenges as always. That is Earth school. That is why we are here. It's going to go up and down. And so, yeah, we're just all doing our best. And all right, I am going to switch over to talking about the sidereal astrology system. And, I think most of you know that I have switched from Western astrology to sidereal astrology. I'm still in training, so I'm not available for sidereal astrology readings quite yet, but hopefully this spring or summer, I will be making that announcement when I'm ready for that. And yeah, it's very exciting. So there's a lot to learn, as always. And of course, I've been doing astrology for a really long time. I'd say, a good 15 years really that I've been yeah, learning this pretty in depth. And yeah, so anyway, I'll have to do another video to share more on why I switched probably from Western to sidereal. But again, I do think both systems can resonate and can be true. And yes, they are very different. And it'll be just kind of fun to see, like, as you follow me, if you also are still following Western astrologers, which probably a lot of you will, and or not. Or maybe you follow your other sidereal astrologers, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if you notice, especially if you have been, in the Western astrology world, what shifts and things really resonate for you and what you're noticing. So yeah, it's really exciting. And yeah, I'm going to be showing you my screen. So give me one moment. I'm going to share that now. And all right, so good. It should be able to see that now. And so I'm going to also have my little wand here so I can kind of show what's going on. So, like I said, today is actually February 11th as I'm filming this, but tomorrow is the full moon. And in the sidereal system, we are still in Capricorn through tomorrow. The sun is in Capricorn, rather, sorry. And the moon is in Cancer. So we've got the moon and sun are in opposition during a full moon. We have Capricorn also at 29 degrees. So this is an ending degree. And this is a big deal when we are at an anaretic degree. It is a very potent time. And yeah, and so also with this, I want to say that there have also been there's a whole 6 months of these full moons having the sun at the last degree of a sign, and so that started in November, and that's going through April. So this is definitely again a big, huge time of endings, and so we have. Again, today and tomorrow, we have the moon in Cancer. So we may be feeling a little bit more sensitive. We could even be a little bit emotional or overreactive. So, try to, just breathe, take some deep breaths, right? Use your essential oils, all these things that I talk to many of you about often, that I use often. We need to go out and do our earthing because we can get a little bit easily, yeah, overstimulated and or just again, kind of being impulsive. Sometimes when moon is in Cancer, we just could be a little bit reactive, right? And we want to make sure that we are trying to stay in more of a space of love and peace. And so yeah, pretty shortly after and actually tomorrow, later in the day, the moon will go into Leo. But yeah, it is in Cancer at the time of the full moon. So what we have here with this full moon and the sun and Mercury are in conjunction. So we've got also this whole square thing going on with Uranus. So we have the moon square to Uranus, and the Sun and Mercury square to Uranus. And Uranus is in Aries. So when Uranus is in Aries, let me first share that Uranus is the planet of sudden surprises. It can be about, yeah, things that are very unexpected. It can have a lot to do with technology, communications. It can have to do with things in the sky. Yeah, it can be more intellectual. And in the sign of Aries, it's already a very fast moving planet, but in the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, it is going to be really fast acting. So this is, again, could be very, yeah, kind of a pivotal thing going on. The Uranus is also, as you can see here, at 29 degrees. So again, at this last degree mark. And yeah, so with it square to the Sun, this can be about leadership. And so it can be bringing on a sudden change to leaders of the world. The Sun can represent, people like presidents. So I definitely suggest that we do a lot of praying today in the next few days, and for our leaders and for our country, and for the world, for peace, really. No matter what your political thoughts are and opinions, it's like we don't want people to be harmed, and we want to maintain peace in the world. So let's definitely keep our prayers afoot, at the top of our, just really thinking about it a lot. And then also, the square to the moon in Cancer represents, well, the moon represents the people. And then the moon in Cancer, I mean, Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So this is also going to really impact the people at large, the masses. And so we are all going to, again, be feeling something here. And again, we've been in this energy since February 10th, as far as the moon being in Cancer. And the 11th as well. So yeah, so hopefully things are going to go well, but just knowing that there could be something big that's going to be affecting us all. It's just good to know these things. The other big things that are happening are that we have this Pisces stellium going on. So we have Chiron in Pisces, we have Venus in Pisces, we have the North Node in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. So the North Node in Pisces and Neptune have been conjunct for a little while. They're still in conjunction here in Pisces. And so we are also moving towards becoming a more compassionate and spiritual people. So this is really beautiful. We another thing though that has been happening, or that's been going on for a little while, is that we've had this square with Chiron to and Mars. So we've got this Mars in Gemini, and then the Chiron and Pisces square going on. So we've had this going on for a while. We're going to have this going through, I think it's mid-April. It's like the 14th or 15th of April. It's really kind of a ways. So this square also is, kind of creating a lot of tension and making us feel sometimes triggered by our old wounds. There's definitely a lot with this Mars being in Gemini. It again deals with communication. So sometimes it's, us communicating, or this could be about siblings. Gemini can represent siblings. So there could be sometimes some triggers and woundings related to some of that. Again, though, with Chiron being in Pisces, I mean, we can, really dive into our more spiritual selves, our compassionate selves, have that compassion for ourselves. But also, we really want to watch out for this tendency with the Pisces energy to fall into addictions or into these different patterns that are not serving us, through wanting to escape, because that Pisces energy will make us want to escape. So really trying to find like a good book to read or movie to watch or something, as an escape. That's something, that would be healthy, just go bowling or whatever that would be fun, and help you to relax and kind of get away from things, but not escape through substances and things like that so much. So that would be my advice to you all with these energies. But yeah, so this Mars in Gemini is still retrograde, and we also are calling this year a Mars year, and it's because we've had this Mars retrograde since actually December. And Mars was in Cancer in December and January. It just recently went into Gemini. Well, it was, I think, right around the new moon time. It's been a couple weeks or so, and it's going to be in Gemini until the end of the month. And then it's going to go back into Cancer. It will still be retrograde. Um, and I think it dips out of retrograde, if I'm remembering right, for a short time, but then it's going to go back into retrograde all the way until June. So we have a lot of this really long Mars retrograde activity. And the good news is that Mars in Gemini is a much easier energy than Mars in Cancer. Mars in Cancer is what's called debilitation. Mars in Gemini, again, it's can be more like fast acting communication. I mean, we can be a little bit more aggressive in our conversations and our words. So we really need to think before we speak, really try to not be too reactive. But yeah, there's definitely some more positive energy, but at the same time, with that retrograde energy, it's still, Mars is just still not in its powerful self to be able to go forward. So we may still lack some energy to go out and do the things that we were doing before. I know, me personally, I just have not been on the best workout pattern this year that I would like to be. I would like to be doing a little bit more cardio, and I've been getting in my yoga and walking, but I really need to get more weightlifting and cardio going. And yeah, the retrograde energy has just been hard to engage. So if you've been wanting to do a cleanse or anything like that, where really take some of that willpower, it is a little bit more difficult until June, unfortunately, this year. Which doesn't mean that it has to be something that you put off, because there's always astrological periods of time that can get better. But just know that if you've been trying and you feel like something's working against you, that's a little bit of what we are experiencing collectively. So yeah, we always want to talk about all of these personal planets. So the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So I skipped over um Mercury in Aquarius. So I'm going to go back to that now. I mean, I did briefly mention the conjunction with the sun. And so with Mercury in Aquarius, we're going to be really, in our minds a little bit more future oriented. So just, remembering to stay in the present. And uh, yeah, I think that's going to be really important with our ways of thinking. It's good to be, future planning to a degree, especially if you're doing something like business planning, right? But at the same time, if we're just, worrying about the future and what things are happening, we don't want to go on that route. We want to get into our visualizing and work on, what kind of a world and what kind of life am I creating, and getting back to, your vision board, or creating that so you can focus on what is it that you're wanting to focus on that's positive. But again, I mean, Mercury being in an air sign, I mean, that's, it likes to be in air signs because, it does like to, this thinking quality. And, luckily Mercury is going forward. So, this is also some really positive energy for thinking outside of the box, really. Aquarius is about these new inventions, again, yeah, out of the box thinking, just unconventional thoughts and ways of being. And so really embracing that is awesome. So I hope that, we all do that in all the different ways that we like to, in our own creative ways as individuals. And then Venus is in Pisces, and this is beautiful because Venus loves to be in Pisces. It's exalted in Pisces. So Venus in Pisces, it's really uplifting us into this higher octave of, again, the compassion and spirituality, and this unity consciousness. And so we can focus on that. And also, like, love is just a lot more like, it's just easier to love our fellow brother and sister and mother and father and partner, and relationships in general are a lot more easeful right now. So we have this beautiful Venus in Pisces that is helping us with that. We had up until a few weeks ago, Venus was in Aquarius, and it was really difficult because Venus doesn't like to be in Aquarius. It's debilitated there. And basically, a lot of times we feel kind of estranged from our partners or our closest people. We may feel just like, yeah, the other people are always doing things totally different than us, and that, or if we're out trying to date, we're like just not really making any connections other than maybe some friendships, which, friendship's fine. But obviously, if you're dating, we're looking for love. And so definitely with us being now with this Venus in Pisces, we'll be able to, find that loving partnership more easily now. And so it's a great time to go out and date, at least in that aspect. Again, I would caution that with maybe a little bit with this Uranus square to the sun and moon, maybe just that, there's just some things that are happening. But again, yeah, we don't know. We don't really have control over what's going to happen in the world, but this is going to affect us more collectively, the masses and our leaders in particular. And this is not just for the United States. I mean, this chart is here in Boise, Idaho, where I live, but this is a chart that is very similar. Obviously, a little bit different if you're on the other side of the world. So adjust to your time, of course, but we might be a little bit ahead or a little bit behind. But yeah, so anyway, those are the major aspects that I wanted to share, I think, today. Yeah, and um, I think that's it with the Sidereal Astrology. So I hope that you got a lot out of this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, if you want to hear more about the year of the snake, the Yinwood snake, I do have that video. Let me know what else that you guys want to hear about. I'm going to try to do some shorter videos and just try to do a little bit more consistent. We'll see. I know life gets pretty full for me, and I've been wanting to do more videos, but that is my goal. So hopefully it's going to be a great year, and I'm going to see you guys all here a lot more. Again, please like the video, please subscribe, share with a friend. Let me know what things that you're feeling. Again, I'm also interested in, if you've been feeling any of the more difficult energies, because with the Uranus, the square with the sun and the moon and Mercury, we may be just dealing with some different pain issues. Again, could be emotional or physical pain. And I'm just kind of curious to get a pulse on everybody out there. I hope you're doing okay. Sending you prayers if you have been in pain. I know I was having almost like a 5-day headache. It was not fun. So luckily I am through that. But and again, like sometimes we can be thinking or learning things that are very shocking in our own personal lives when there's a Uranus square. So again, these shocking surprises, sudden unexpected events. Yes, I think there will be something that will be kind of affecting the collective more, but it could be something depending on our own personal transits that could be, obviously a little bit more personal. So we could learn some news personally that could also, be very upsetting and be a little bit shocking or hard to deal with. Again, that Aries energy can be a little bit aggressive, or even somebody else could be aggressively coming at you possibly. So just know that there are things that you can do to mitigate that. I do have a really great video I'm going to share at the end of this one on on psychic attack and how to protect yourself. So if you do feel like that's something that's happening, I do know at least one or several people that are going through this currently. So again, sometimes people want to go into their victimhood and blame other people. Again, we see this obviously in leadership, the blaming game, but a lot of people do it too that we know personally, unfortunately. So all right, well, thank you so much, and it was such a pleasure to be here. I had so much fun. Again, please like the video and share, and I will see you guys real soon. And there's that link for the video of the replay for the new moon and the most importantly, the Yinwood year of the snake, if you want to learn a lot more. All right, and I will be in touch soon. Thank you so much.